Here's a question for you. Why does Republican Senate candidate Kari Lake have such a 180-degree change of heart? Hi, I'm Grand Madam. Welcome to the Grand Collective at Grand Madam's Tarot. Yeah, Kari Lake. If I said Katie, I'm sorry, but it's Kari Lake, the lady with the smooth, short haircut that everyone seems to just love, in Arizona, is speaking out against an abortion law that was established in 1864. It bans abortions during the time of slavery. So, if you were a slave and you were pregnant, you would have to deliver, carry full term and deliver. Master couldn't prevent any abortions that he or she may have wanted. But also, when you think about it, back in those days, women knew how to abort themselves using their herbs. If you were caught doing that with this law, you went to jail. It's almost as though you were stealing from massa if you aborted babies. I just find it very, very strange. Now, the year after that, 1865 in December, then they come up with the 13th Amendment here that says slaves are now free people. It's almost like before that year, it was like sire as many slave babies as you can so that you can sell them real quick off next year. Child trafficking. It makes you think. Anyway, why the sudden change of heart, Carrie, when it was this time, I think, months ago, if it wasn't last year, when you wanted to ban the abortions for all instances, with the exception of it may cause a death to the mother? Well, when I threw down the cards, I used the kippers, and what I found was interesting. When I first looked at the Senate uh, candidate, I said, she looks to me about the age of a mother who would have an adult or at least a teenage daughter who could find need for those services. Just a thought. Hold that thought. First card up, the energy is talking about the health of the female. And the privileged lady, this is the young female at that. So we're talking about health services for young women. Young women, what's crossing this is the distance to get those health services. Now, young women have to travel a great distance from Arizona to have their reproductive health services. I'm saying, okay, didn't she know that in the first place when she supported the law? What brought about the change? She will say the old law, which is 160 years and enacted during slavery times, and I still say to enable child trafficking, slave trafficking. Um, she says the law is not in step with where Arizona is today in 2024. So I decided to take up my pendulum and ask. I said, now, Miss Lake has a pretty young daughter. Is there anyone around Miss Lake or Miss Lake's daughter that may have needed those abortion services and had to travel long distances and were denied. All right, that was too much. Let's do it this way, and so that I won't confuse myself. Does Carrie Lake know anyone, a young woman who needed reproduction services but were denied? That's a yes, folks. That's a yes. Now, not all reproduction services do include abortion, but some of them do include tinkering around, tinkering in the uterus, fallopian tubes, you get in the womb area, and all that's connected to. That is a vast system. If anything happens to that system, if there's any damage or injury, it impacts a woman's entire body, head to toe. So if there's a problem there, it could be, they want to call it women's problems. Well, yeah, women's problems are reproductive problems. If someone had a reproductive problem that she couldn't have attended to because the hospital's GYN gynecological department has closed because they're closing them up now, and they had to travel, could that have been a reason for Carrie Lake to change her mind? That's a yes, folks. Ooh, that's a big yes, folks. Was it her daughter? Allegedly. Did Carrie's daughter have need use of such services? Because when do they give you a first pap smear? I guess what, 12, 13, 11? Was Carrie's daughter in need of such services? Allegedly. Yes. That brings things into realism, doesn't it? So, we have here a young woman that had to be taken out of town for reproductive health services. Okay? And it's funny, the next card in the past is occupation. Carrie has put her occupation behind her for this decision. This decision supersedes her previous stance in her political occupation. It has something to do with choice, lovers, romance. And here's something interesting. Because she made her decision and changed it, we have a little unexpected support coming in. It could be income, it could be votes, right? And this is what she's working towards hard now. You know, it is really, really weird when you see someone change their position and you don't know why. It gets scary. With things happening now, as unstable as the planet is now, it's really scary. Uh, Lake was concerned about poor people. Or you can look at this card and see a heavy loss. It can also be a loss of life. Here's the coffin right above it. Okay? Loss of female life. And another way you can look at this is that there would also be a loss of working women. Here we have the death of the working woman. Life stolen. And what's capping that off is what? The false person. The false person allegedly could be because she's a politician. The false person could be allegedly someone who has stolen a life from someone, from some young woman or some girl. Uh, I'll be quite honest. I was born and raised Catholic. So what? My common sense can say an unplanned pregnancy or a pregnancy that's too soon in a young person's life can change your entire trajectory of the life that you are meant to lead. Some people would say, oh, but grandma, wasn't that what the plan was all along? Not necessarily. Uh, many years ago, I watched a PBS special on this young woman. She was black and living in the projects when they were really, well, projects have already been for the poorest of the poor. She was brilliant, but her social sense when it came to men was not the best. She would, she came out of high school, got a GED. As soon as she got her GED, she was offered a job to work at one of these downtown offices. It would have been a great start for her. It would have taken her and her baby. Yeah, got pregnant. She was living at home with her mom. So we're talking second generation project person. She could have moved out of the projects with that job. She got pregnant. Okay, that's another time consumer. Had the baby, lost the job, went. But yeah, you get pregnant, you lose your job. Still, um, got an opportunity to because she got her GED. Went to what I forgot what college she went to. She went to 2 year college, junior college they called it then, and she studied business. She had the mind, great mind for business administration. Graduated. Here he comes again. Gets her pregnant, so she's stuck again. The third time, she moves from the junior college into a 4 year college. Comes out with a bachelor's degree in business administration. Is offered another job. This one would have put her in management. And here comes Jones again. He lived down the street. Got her pregnant for this third time. This time, after she had her baby, she had it was weird. Because her mother was keeping three small children now, almost stair steps. And I don't know if she went to. I think she went to work, came home, slipped in the living room, hit her head on the coffee table, died instantly. I always felt. I mean, I don't know if that's the way it was a documentary. If that's the way the documentary was produced or directed that way, I just always felt had she not gone the way of the motherhood thing, that she would, number one, gotten out of the projects, number two, gotten into the management, got number three, bought her own home and would be alive today with her grandchildren. Had she not chosen to have the third child, or maybe the second or first, I don't know. That thing has haunted me for the last 40, 50 years. Okay, because I think it was in black and white. That's how far back it was. And they were talking about how women who were bright and talented, how they were just lives almost just taken from them with unexpected pregnancies. I'm not sure if that was a documentary pro contraceptive or not. I don't remember, but I don't. I didn't forget that. That kept me. I waited until I was married. I tell you that straight off the bat before I had any children, any child. After watching that, it did. Maybe it was superstition. I don't know, but I didn't take any chances. Moving right along. Carrie's new pathway here, her change of heart, has brought about a gift. Do you think she's winning the hearts of the young working woman now, the young working mother? Because now I mean, she is vehement if you listen to her. I'm like, what's the sudden change, miss? What is the sudden change? So she's done a complete change. Now, her problem is going to be winning the favor of the older men. What that has to do with it is quite interesting. And the family situation. Some kind of way, well, if you look at it this way, it is about family planning. But before it's family planning, you have to have a family to plan for, or plan to have a family. What about those who don't have families and not are interested? There is a hmm, another, oh, hold on a second. There is a card that answers that. But right now, it looks as though she's starting a whole new journey from the one she had. So now she's in favor, and it's not just her. It's that whole Republican Party. It seems to be coming apart. What they put out there in the beginning, they're doing a 180 and turning completely away from it. Completely away from it. So Carrie has a better understanding. I can understand how she couldn't. Anyway, she has a better understanding of the needs of young women these days, especially young working women. And she knows those reproductive services are going to be required, whether they're married or single. And that includes her own daughter and son. She has her daughter is young, but not that young, not to know about certain things in life and not to fall prey to certain things in life, like an unexpected pregnancy. Oh, here we go again. This, I do believe, I do not believe that she was convinced professionally as much so as familially. Somebody in the family, hmm somebody in the family sent her a message, gave her a phone call. Uh, Let me talk to you. This could be auntie, or it could be mom, or grandmom, older woman. Had to talk to her. Let me explain some things, girl, about courtships, because they're obviously not what you think they are. And ooh, auntie very well may have been. Is there a family female lawyer? Is there a female lawyer in her? Because whoever she talked to has to do with law. She could have a friend who is a justice person, a judge, a justice person. But this person is that she was talking to is not just this person researches the law, understands the history behind the law, understands what was going on, okay? And had to have a talk with her, sent her a message. An old school chum, maybe. She said, look, if women are going to be about this security and this money, there has to be a change. There has to be a change. You can't leave women in despair like that and expect them to move forward. Here we go again. Look, look, look. It was a message of concern involving a court system. It could have been a friend. It could have been a family member. There was a conference. Mm. It was a conference, and it's almost like I'm looking at these cards. It's like someone told her, not every woman is going to marry a wealthy man. How many people do you know where you're from married a wealthy man? No, they went to jail for child support and other things. And where is she from? Hold on, let me see what. And their great concerns, child support. Mm-mm. Child support is not going to be the answer. Child support is not going to keep your brand going. Child support is not going to maintain your representation. Your reputation. I'm sorry. And some people are really concerned about just banning these laws to keep themselves on a certain level. On the other hand, some people are concerned about having these laws in place repealed to maintain their social status because the unexpected can always happen. And some of these men are not interested in marriage. As a matter of fact, it's a whole movement of men who are not interested in marriage. And being a child baby's mama is a hit to the reputation, is a hit to the family brand. Now, the hierarchical, the higher self oracle that I use, this is interesting because I asked why she did it. It said that she asked for guidance. So she was already, there's a problem. There's a problem. She had to ask for guidance about a love situation that angered the daylights out of her. And she had to be told, but that's nature. And you're going to have to go with the flow. What does that sound like to you folks? Allegedly. Don't say it. Don't say it. But after a while, every mother who has a young daughter has to come to the realization that your baby girl is not a baby anymore. Okay? And on that note, I will say that Kari Lake was faced with a situation that was a bit closer to home than she had ever imagined it would be, and that now she is really concerned. She is genuinely concerned about getting that Arizona law repealed or making it null and void, keeping it inactive. Okay, but it was for personal reasons and not necessarily professional reasons first. And that's all I'm going to say about that. This is all for entertainment purposes only and alleged. Until next time, much love.